Welcome to the National 5 summary video of Unit 2, Key Area 2, Control and Communication. In this video, we're going to go through the second part of control and communication, which is hormones. So make sure you've watched the video previously on nervous system. So in terms of hormones, hormones are chemical messengers that are found in a system known as the endocrine system. So these are still messengers, just like neurons, however they are chemical and not electrical. Hormones are released into your bloodstream by glands known as endocrine glands, part of your endocrine system. Now, these hormones travel through your blood, but they only affect their target organ. They only affect the organ they are meant to work with. This is because target organs have cells called complementary receptor proteins. And these complementary receptor proteins match with specific hormones, so that hormone will only match with their target organ. In terms of hormones, we are really just going to focus on two really important hormones called insulin and glucagon. And these are important for your blood glucose regulation. So they keep your blood glucose at a safe level in your bloodstream. Basically, if you have glucose, which you'll have from food or drink that you've consumed through your bloodstream, insulin transfers glucose into a glucose store known as glycogen. So this excess glucose gets stored as glycogen in your muscle and your liver cells. However, once you've not ate or drank for a while and your blood glucose starts to go down in concentration in your bloodstream, that glycogen is going to be converted back into glucose for you to use through another hormone called glucagon. To go through this process in a little bit more detail, we'll start off with your glucose concentration at normal levels in your blood, which is what you're wanting to have. You're wanting to always come back to that normal level. If your blood glucose level was to go up, then your pancreas is going to release insulin in response. So that hormone insulin is released by your pancreas in response to your blood glucose levels going up. So for example, if you have ate or drank something. And as is shown in the previous diagram, that glucose, that excess glucose, is going to be stored as glycogen in your muscle and your liver cells. And that is going to ultimately lead to a decrease in the glucose concentration of your blood. Once it's decreased enough, it goes back to normal levels. So again, we're trying to keep at this normal concentration level. And that's always the end point we're trying to get to. Similarly, if there is a decrease in your glucose concentration, if your glucose concentration of your blood goes down, then again your pancreas will respond to it, but this time it releases the hormone glucagon. If glucagon is released from the pancreas, it breaks down that glycogen, that glucose store, in your muscle and your liver cells and releases that stored glucose. That stored glucose will then enter your bloodstream, which will cause an increase in glucose concentration and again reach that endpoint that we want of the glucose concentration being at normal levels. So for this main part here, it can be confusing because the words sound very similar, but you need to know about glycogen being the storage form of glucose. You need to know that insulin will turn glucose into glycogen and that glucagon will turn glycogen back into glucose. And that is it for the rest of this key area. As I said, make sure you have a look over the nervous system or nervous control beforehand in the previous video, and this covers hormones. And that is the end of key area 2.